Hey guys, this episode we're going to be talking about how to build your own API clients from scratch using NetHTTP and no other dependencies. We're just going to be using the built-in Ruby NetHTTP clients and have those making our HTTP requests to our APIs. Now, this is a feature that I just implemented into Jumpstart Pro, so we are going to build out a repository of API clients that you can use in your applications. And the reason for this is that oftentimes you'll find that you're grabbing the Vultr gem like I did previously and find out that it doesn't support version 2 of the API. So you got to go build it yourself or fork it and update it, and it can be a lot of work to deal with other people's libraries that they may or may not use anymore. So we have made it really easy to build your own API clients in Jumpstart Pro. So for example, we can build one for the SendFox client, or the SendFox API. The SendFox client can integrate that, and we just have to drop in these very simple requests for each of our endpoints that we want to hit. So we can take the parameters, pass them along, use the different types of requests. Out of the box, we're going to send the API token for the authorization headers. We're going to parse the JSON responses and send content over as JSON. And you can override any of that stuff to be XML or whatever. So I wanted to show you a little bit behind the scenes of how this works. We'll dig into NetHTTP and actually build some really nice integrations with that. So let's dig in. The first thing I want to do is I want to generate a new Rails app, and we're going to call it To-Do List API, and it's going to be a Rails app that is just going to have a to-do scaffold in it, and we are going to basically treat it as an API because it generates the JSON responses, and we can have it verify the authorization header, things like that. It will work just like a regular Rails app. You might have noticed my Rails logs look a little funky. I have been poking around Thor and the Rails generators and looking at the files that are generated. We'll talk about building a generator in the next episode. And this is one of the things I use to debug to figure out how to, override templates and things like that inside of your Rails generators. For some cool stuff that we're working on as well. So let's dig into our to-do list API now that is created. We want to run Rails generate scaffold. We'll have a to-do. To-dos will have a description field, and we'll just keep it simple like that because we want to focus on building out our API client, not the API.